Hi, my name is Bisola Miriam, and in this video I'm going to talk to you extensively about the ways to request for recommendation letters, or the way you can tell who you should be asking for a recommendation letter. So the first thing is, not everyone is supposed to write you a recommendation letter or a reference letter, okay? So you need to identify the right person or persons who should be writing you a reference letter. Now, how do you tell who should write your reference letter? And how do you ask the right person even after you have identified those who should be writing your reference letter? And how then do you guide this person or persons on the way to talk about you, or what they should be writing about when you're sending a reference letter on your behalf? So my name is Bisola Miriam, and I'm the founder of Idea for You, a life coaching program for survivors of domestic violence, and also the founder at the Left-Handers Africa. If you're looking to book me for speaking engagement, or you need me to work with you or your team, simply go to my personal website, bisolamiriam.com. And if you want to subscribe to any of our coaching programs, visit ideaforyou.com. And if you're looking to also invite me for a speaking engagement, maybe you have a group of 100 or 200 people or 1,000 or more, whether you want me to speak virtually or in person, you can go to my website to book me for speaking engagements. Now let's talk about who should be writing you a reference letter. The thing is, not everyone should write you a reference letter, just like not everybody is your cup of tea and you're not everybody's cup of tea. So who should write your reference letter? The first thing you need to know is, what are you asking for? Why do you want to ask for a recommendation letter? Or for what purpose is that request for? When you do not know why you're asking for a recommendation letter, you would make a mistake of asking maybe the wrong people for a recommendation letter or letters. If you're looking to apply for an academic position at a university, you can ask people who can speak about your academic quality, your academic strength, to write you a reference letter. If you're looking to apply for a local position, for a position in a religious setting, you can ask somebody who is a religious leader to write you a recommendation letter. If you're looking to apply for a grant to do community service work or social impact work, you can ask someone who is a social impact leader, okay, or a non-profit leader or a social entrepreneur to write you a reference letter. So do not go and put a round peg in a square hole, okay? Ask the right people for recommendation letters. It is not everybody that can write you a reference letter. So the thing again is, how many years do you need to know somebody before the person can write you a reference letter? I don't think it really matters the number of years. It's about the quality of relationship, or the quality of that connection or interaction. You can know someone for 10 years and you may not even be really in touch with that person. And you might know someone for a year or two and your relationship with that person is of quality. So when you identify that quality is really more important than quantity, you then realize that it is not the number of years that you have known someone for that determines whether the person can write you a recommendation letter. It is actually about the quality of interaction or relationship that you have with that person. Now that we have talked about the right kind of people you should ask for a recommendation letter, and we've also talked about how long you should know somebody before you should ask the person for a recommendation letter, let's talk about how to identify the right people even when you know those who should be writing your reference letters. So now, it is not all the people that you have interacted with within your academic space, in the academic space, or in the social service space, or in the professional space, that can write you a reference letter. The truth is, some people will not wish you well, and it is their business. It's none of your business. Some people are never progressive. They are very selfish, and when they see that you are trying to achieve something, they might do everything possible to ensure that you do not succeed. So when you're especially unsure of who the right person is, or who is going to really speak highly of you, you need to have a long list. So when you have a long list of potential recommenders, you can reach out to several of them in advance. Some of them will tell you no outrightly. Some of them will tell you, I'm very busy, I won't be able to write you because I have a lot of things to do. Some of them might even tell you that, oh, I can do this for you, but you need to just give me a template. I won't be able to write anything because I'm busy. Can you supply me a document? So I'm going to tell you what to do at that stage. So before we get to that point about when they are asking you to submit a document to them for them to use as a guide, let's first clarify who you should be selecting. The truth is, you do not know what these professors are thinking or what that person in your professional space or that previous employer or supervisor would do. One thing is sure, there would always be people who, even after doing your due diligence, they will never speak highly of you, even when they send recommendation letters on your behalf. So what you can do is, before you begin to make a request or reach out to ask for favors, ask yourself, what can you do for that person or for that professor? When you think about what other people want, before you think about what you want, you're more than likely gonna succeed. So what I mean is, don't put your interest first, put the interest of that person first. When I say put the interest of that person first, what I'm basically saying is, think about what that person wants as well. So maybe the person would want you to maybe collaborate on a research project temporarily. Collaborate with the person, assist the person in that research project, and see that as an opportunity to make a request for your goal, right? If that is not even what you want to do, if that's not a strategy you want to employ, you don't want to do what many people do, which is they try to start being friendly to somebody that they want to ask for a reference letter just a month before they need to make that demand. So you don't want to make a mistake of beginning to rebuild a relationship maybe a month to the time when you're supposed to be asking for a recommendation letter. So you want to make sure that you are sincere about your reconnection when you're trying to reconnect with professors. It's going to be a daunting process, and I must tell you that you can do this. I can tell you for sure that it is something that you can do, but you need to believe in yourself and you need to trust that the process is going to work out. Now, when you then do all of this and you have made your list and you have identified people who want to write for you, you need to tell them how to write. Some people don't even know the way to speak about you in the reference letter. So you need to give them an idea of what the reference is about. Is it for a grant opportunity or a fellowship or a scholarship? Let them know what that reference is for. When they know, you give them an idea, some of them would definitely know what to write in the reference letter. Some of them need to be guided, which is you provide them with a template. A template is a detailed description of what you want them to write, and then you provide them that template, and they basically would copy what you have shared with them, maybe word for word, or they might want to move some words around or move things around and rewrite it in their own way. But when you give them a template, you make it possible for them to spend less time thinking and brainstorming on what to write for you. I don't know if this makes sense. So these are the strategies for you to employ when you're looking to get somebody to write you a reference letter. The first thing I talked about in this video is that you need to first identify what you're requesting a reference letter for. Next, I talked about who you then need to ask when you have identified what you're requesting a reference letter for. Thirdly, I talked about the right persons to select in the list of the people, even after you have identified those who are going to write you a reference letter. The last thing I talked about is what you can do to accelerate the process of writing a reference letter for you, especially when you're working with busy professors. And I also share some tips on how you can rebuild a relationship that has not been that you've not been able to nurture for years, especially when you're trying to get that person to write your reference letter. And I also quickly made reference to how it is not how many years you've known that person for, but it is the quality of the relationship that determines how if the person will be able to write you a quality recommendation letter or not. I hope you found this useful. If you found this really useful, why don't you subscribe to this YouTube channel, share this video with someone who needs it, and more importantly, pre-order my book. The fully funded book, The Secret to Studying Abroad for Free, is now on pre-order. Simply follow the link in the description of this video to go get the book. Even more, when you get the book, you get access to a free private Facebook community where I go live every month. And in that community, you'll be connected to a group of other scholars like you who are looking to study abroad. And you're going to be getting close in-house support from my team of other coaches in our fully funded school. So if you want to get that private support, even though you cannot afford a one-on-one coaching, you can pre-order my book right now so you can get access to the fully funded paid school. I hope that you do, and please do share this video. Do me a favor, leave a comment right now. Did you find this useful? Do you want to have more of this kind of content? What other topics would you love me to talk about? Please feel free to share in the comment section. Take care. Bye.